Right, time to delve a little bit deeper into our Week 2 fantasy matchups, and who else to do it with than the queen of fantasy football. She's back straight from the set of Good Morning Football. Kate Adams, so good to see you. How are you? How was Week 1?
Week 1, from a fantasy perspective, not as great, but we're going to rebound in Week 2. Week 1's always a little wonky, so we're going to do our thing. But it was such a fun week of games, and the rookies were really fun to watch too.
Well, I want to ask you about these rookies as well. As we look to rebuild maybe in Week 2, I don't know about you, but I had some rookies tucked on my bench Week 1, wanted to see what they were doing. Is there anyone who has earned a starting spot rookie-wise after a strong performance Week 1? Because Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, they all scored.
Yeah, it used to be a long time ago, Hannah, that rookie wide receivers wouldn't start off like that. It was always, let's wait. They have to catch up with NFL offenses and what they're doing. But now a lot of them come out from the jump and they look great. To me, the most impressive by far was Jamar Chase, because there was so much bad heat on him for drops in practice and a underwhelming preseason performance. So to see him come out there, score a touchdown, reel some catches in, looking confident, looking like his concentration was there, which is what I was really looking forward to seeing. And that connection and chemistry that carried over from LSU between him and Joe Burrow, I think he's an absolute lock to play up against Chicago. As sad as that makes me to say, they're in Chicago this week. The connection will be there, and that defense with the Bears is lackluster. So I do believe Jamar Chase will have a top 10 performance again this week. And I talked to him this week, and he told me that he wants to break all the records. It's important to him to do his thing and get his team wins at the same time. So excited about it.
That's what we like to hear. He is getting bumped straight up from my bench then if you've got the goods on him. Let's talk about the waiver wire. It's been very busy this week. It is Thursday, so you're too late to get on the waiver wire now. But Eli Mitchell, his stock has gone through the roof. He was available in 99% of leagues on Monday. He's now rostered on almost 60%. So If you missed out on him, I know, right? Who are your options? Because there are always sleepers. There are always guys you can get if you didn't do so well on the waiver wire.
Yeah, I would say, just options in general on the waiver wire, not just per position, but I like the Saints, obviously, Jameis Winston, someone who has to be owned. People are asking me if they should start Jameis Winston or Aaron Rodgers against the Lions, which is a little crazy, but I understand. And I do think the excitement should be there for him and his tight end, Juwan Johnson. No Michael Thomas there. I still like Marquez Callaway. I didn't say to play him last week, but if he's available or if people dropped him, that Saints offense is one that's going to spread the ball. They're going to put up points against Carolina, whether or not they're dealing with COVID-19 and their coaching staff. I know there's a lot going on there, but they're straight away are three guys just off the Saints offense that I would look at. Eli Mitchell, of course, somebody that you want to look at. And then Tyson Williams. I do like Tyson Williams. I think obviously Latavius Murray, as expected, a big body running back who's going to get in at the goal line and just fall over into the end zone and vulture a little bit from Tyson, but he still had a good rookie performance. Or at least he looked good in training camp. He had the most reps of any of those guys that are left, and I think that carries over into this week's matchup.
So who should we be proceeding cautiously with this week? What are the matchups when you're looking at that fixture list that are giving you cause for concern?
Let's see. Who am I worried about this week? Let me think about this. This isn't live, is it? Let me think. Who am I worried about? I'm a little worried about Jalen Hurts. I know that everyone got really excited to play him, and I said to play him on Sunday because he has a really high rushing floor. He can do his thing. Really tough matchup this week, though, against San Francisco. Nick Bosa is no joke. A very tough defensive front. Granted, they're home, and he will rack up points as a dual threat quarterback, but he's somebody that I would steer a little more clear from, as there's some post-hype excitement from what he was able to do. Outside of that, there's really not much not to like here. There's some high-scoring games. The Cowboys and Chargers, that's going to shoot through the moon. I think the Falcons also have a really good game. Anytime whoever's playing the Falcons, you need to have all those guys on the other side of the ball in your lineup.
And whoever's playing the Jaguars as well. So maybe Denver guys this week are going to go off. I want to ask you just personally.
There's one I would not play. I'm worried about, thank you for bringing that up, Hannah, the Jags, James Robinson, a little worried about him up against the Denver Broncos. You saw what they did to the Giants run game. Saquon Barkley, though maybe not 100%, they're working him in, but they did stifle him. Also, Trevor Lawrence, I do not feel confident about playing him up against Denver either. Early in the season, but we already know, steer clear of Denver early on.
Good advice, good advice. Go easy on Trevor Lawrence. Give the guy time. I want to ask you, just from a purely selfish point of view, about the Buccaneers and fantasy. I always feel cautious because of all those receiving options. Never sure which of them is going to go off on any given Sunday. But Tampa have scored over 30 points in their last 8 games, going back to 2020. I was offered a couple of their guys on trades this week. I turned it down. Some people have told me I'm crazy. With that level of production, though, is it worth going in on Bucs players?
It is, but they spread the ball around a lot. It's so weird. I was just having this conversation earlier this week about O.J. Howard. O.J. Howard could be a tremendous player. He's like 6'8". He can, be a red zone target. They just don't target him in that way. Antonio Brown looked so good week 1. Is he going to be in the offense more? Gronk looks like vintage 2013, 2014. Gronk out there scoring touchdowns at will early when he sort of took some time to warm up last year. I would say this game up against the Falcons, and they faced the Falcons twice, you can't really go wrong with getting all of the Bucs in your lineup. Even Leonard Fournette, who sneaky people don't want to love Leonard Fournette. And obviously he's not the only running back down there, but what he did through the playoffs was so impressive. And if he can just, we called him Playoff Lenny, let's cut the playoff off. And I really think Leonard Fournette's going to be one of the more incredible values in fantasy football this year.
I still don't trust him. I had him on my roster all year and he did nothing till the playoffs. But you know what? Maybe this year he'll come good. Kay, brilliant to speak to you as ever. Enjoy week 2 and thanks for joining us on Overtime.
I will. Thank you, Hannah. I like the studio. It looks very cool.
We all like our studio, Josh. Everyone's happy
Beautiful.
to be here. Shall we take a look at the week 2 fixtures as we dive into following some of Kay's fantasy advice? Let's remind you what is happening week 2 in the NFL. As I mentioned, the Giants and the Washington football team kick things off tonight. Then it's Bills heading down to the AFC East rivals Miami Dolphins, looking for their first win. The Bengals head to Chicago. The Broncos head to Jacksonville, probably to score some fantasy points. The Texans take on the Browns. The Rams play the Colts, both of those 2 teams in the playoffs last year. The Raiders play the Steelers. It's Patriots-Jets in another divisional matchup, as is the Saints-Panthers, with 2 quarterbacks sort of redeemed as they've joined new teams. And then our live game on Sunday evening, 49ers at the Eagles. Later on Sunday, the good games just keep on coming. Falcons play the Buccaneers, the Vikings play the Cardinals and Chandler Jones. The Cowboys against the Chargers is our late game for you on Sky Sports NFL, as we've mentioned before. The Titans, Derrick Henry looks to get things going against the Seattle Seahawks. Then Sunday night, what a game this one is. The Chiefs at the Ravens, before Monday night, it's the Lions and the Packers in what I always think of as a cold matchup, although in September it might not be too bad. Let's talk then. Sunday night, 9 o'clock, Sky Sports NFL, Chiefs, Ravens. This one is huge. You've got 2 guys that have won the MVP award at quarterback. The Ravens coming off a loss. The Chiefs doing what they always do last week against the Browns. Will, what are you intrigued about in this matchup?
Well, I made the mistake. Actually, I want to call it a mistake because I did pick the Browns and they almost pulled it out the other day. They should have won. However, Mahomes is undefeated in September. Mahomes has never lost to the Ravens. And also, it's Mahomes' birthday on Friday.
Oh, well, there you go then.
On the 17th. So I'm just intrigued just how perfect they are in the month of September. But I'm also to see, how can Kansas City's defense come back against a run? I felt like Cleveland ran all over them. Are they able to do that? Because that's what's going to happen when they play the Ravens.
I was going to say, but the Ravens running backs, they're all out. They're all injured.
They were, but Lamar's going to run.
Yeah, okay. He'll run for all 3 of them.
That's what
Makes sense.
But Lamar Jackson's your quarterback.
Yeah, Latavius Murray did have a touchdown.
Yeah.
He did do well for them. But no, that's a good point. The other running backs, I think they activated Devontae Freeman too.
Yeah.
So we'll see, man.
Latavius Murray as well hadn't been with the team very long and still came on and made an impact. And we've talked so much already as well with Kay. She was just talking about Tyson Williams as well. There are reasons to be optimistic about the Ravens run game that is currently first in the league. Defensively, though, both of these teams need to do some work, right?
Yeah, the Ravens have a banged-up secondary, so that's an issue. Honey Badger didn't play last week. Hopefully he'll be back this week for Kansas City. So, yeah, that's a concern. I like the matchup, Kansas City receivers versus their secondary.
Yeah. Who's got this for you, Josh?
You got to go with the Chiefs, right? Like they're 3-0.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And
not
also,
go with the
like
Chiefs.
Lamar's 0-3 in this game. Like it's never been that close. I think last year they got a taste. You know what I mean? So I don't feel like it's going to be any different. And I feel like maybe the Ravens team is a little bit worse right now with all the injuries they've got.
Right.
Coming off a loss, I can't see them having an upset.
Like, it looks great on paper, but I don't think it's going to be close.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, we're
Sorry,
selling
we're
it
supposed
right
to hype it
now.
up,
It will be close. I think it's going to be a high-scoring offensive tussle, much like offensive tussle. Much
That's
like
so
the
nice for football.
Cowboys at the Chargers. This one I'm really excited about because it was a week ago, we haven't spoken so much about Dak Prescott. Now, I don't know about you, Will. With all the talk coming into this season, is he healthy? Is the shoulder okay? He had a secret ankle surgery that no one knew about because of how bad that injury was. Now his shoulder's maybe gone. He looked great out there. Their offense looks great out there, and they're up against an offense as well that is suddenly singing in that partnership of Justin Herbert and Brandon Staley is going to set them up for the foreseeable.
No, I thought he looked beyond great. He looked outstanding. I mean, he's on. I think he could throw for 6,000 yards if he wanted to this year. He looked unbelievable. Just how confident he was, like in the pocket, getting hit and still making unreal throws. His two weapons on the outside in CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper are outstanding. And yes, of course, Zeke didn't get the football. But I believe the Cowboys went into that game like, look, Zeke, we're not throwing the ball today, so you're going to have to block. And yeah, against Justin Herbert, who's going to be, a star in this league. He already is a star in this league. It is possible that this game could definitely be like, 35, 38, that type of game. It's hard. I know the Chargers are the favorite, but I can see Dallas going in and doing something. It's going to be at SoFi, which is already a stadium that teams are lighting it up in. So, I mean, we'll see.
Do you know what I like about Herbert? He's so young, but like in those like really crucial moments, like on third down, like his completion percentage is crazy.
Yeah.
So in those big moments, maybe they're down, maybe they need to get a touchdown. I feel like he can come up with something special. And even though, Dak threw for 400 yards with a bad shoulder and half a leg, so it's going to be good, man. I'm excited. I
think as well, and I mentioned it, Will, I think for Justin Herbert, getting a new head coach, Brandon Staley, right now, it's like that sort of partnership. You don't want to get too far ahead of yourself, but you think, is this going to be that partnership that we watch for years and they go on and do it all a la Belichick and Brady? Am I getting ahead of myself? I'm throwing some big
way ahead of yourself. Yes, you are way ahead of yourself. But it's great that he got him a defensive minded coach, because offensively they already have tons of talent. Him and Keenan Allen together, unstoppable.
A quick word as well, if we may, on San Francisco against the Eagles, because I'll be perfectly honest, a week ago, if I'd looked at who was playing who on week 2, I don't think I'd have been that concerned about this game. But based on both of these teams' performances week 1, this is one I am excited to watch. Jalen Hurts, I know he, maybe didn't do anything from a fantasy perspective or didn't do as much from a fantasy perspective. You can tell he's taking control and he's settling into running this team.
I don't know how excited I am about this game.
You got to lie on camera.
We need to brief Will about the level of this
But I do like the relationship with Sirianni and Jalen Hurts, what he's doing for them. This is a dangerous game for San Francisco. Dangerous game. This is a trap game for them. I like the Eagles in this game, though.
Ooh.
He said it. Deebo Samuel going to go off again, I hope.
I like Deebo mainly because, his name's Deebo and he plays like his name's Deebo, you know what I mean? So I think he could go off as well.
Do you know what, Josh? I feel like we had Kyler Murray looking like a mosquito. Now we've got Deebo playing well.
Bad child mosquito.
Bad child mosquito. There was something else as well. I think we've touched all the markers on our time this evening. Let's remind you, if we can, what we've got coming up. Just to confirm, our week 2 slate: Giants at Washington, 49ers at Eagles, Cowboys at Chargers, Chiefs at Ravens, Lions at Packers. Will might not be excited, but we certainly are. And we will be back next Thursday, same time, same place, same sofa, for more overtime. Myself, Josh and Will, 9 o'clock, Sky Sports NFL. I'm going to throw one more grenade before we leave.
Grenade!
Ooh.
You guys up against each other. Fantasy football this week.
I can't do any worse than I did.
You cannot do any worse than you did last week. You got obliterated last week.
I got faith, though. I've got faith. Don't worry.
Setting that bar, Josh. I like it. He can't do any worse.
I don't have faith in fantasy football, but I hope I win.
We will find out next week. We'll see you then. Enjoy week 2.